Hey guys, Kingkade here and welcome back to another video, and in this video we are going to be seeing which car is the best on a dusty trip. Let's get right into this. So if y'all don't know, every week they do add a brand new car over here, and even though there is a timer at the bottom, you are still able to buy all of these cars. They're just like game passes under the game, so you are able to still buy them even after the timer runs up, just not the Exotica. So I'm going to be showing y'all which of them is the best and which of them is the worst. We're now in a match and we have all the cars right here, so let's go ahead and start comparing them. So we are going to be comparing the free ones first. So the two free ones on the left. So we're going to make this quick since these are the free ones. So the van right here is better than this one, mainly because it has more surface area. So look at this, it is much bigger than this little car right here, meaning that we can attach a lot more things to it. So we can go ahead and attach a lot more fuel tanks to this car right here, which is pretty nice, rather than this car right here. But anyway, out of the free cars, the van is the better one, and then this one is the worst right here. Now we're going to go ahead and compare the van to the Roblox ones over here. So let's go ahead and start off with the worst Roblox one. The worst Roblox one is this right here, the ATV. So as you can see, it has like no place to attach anything, and it has like no protection. So at the 10,000 meter mark, it is pretty easy to get past the 10,000 meter mark in this ATV, but sometimes you do get lasered if you crash at all. But this has no room to attach anything, which does really stink. It doesn't even have a little thing on the back, such as this right here, so you can't even attach the new trailer to it. So you're left with like barely any room. Also, the ATV uses like special engines and radiators, so it only has one radiator and one engine, so that means you can't find any better parts for it, which does make the game quite boring. You can go ahead and check out one of my other videos where I think I got to like 55,000 meters with the ATV, and it was just pretty boring because you pretty much just go the same speed the whole time, because you don't go fast or slow at all, because you have the same parts all the time. It is pretty good at getting up hills though, so if it's like a pretty steep hill, you will still go up it decently fast. But another downside to this is, if we go ahead and start it, the turn radius is terrible. Like, this is the sharpest I can turn right here, so yeah, look at that. So if I need to go ahead and face this way, I have to go ahead and do this very wide turn radius, and we actually have to back up or else we're gonna hit that car. So this super wide turn radius right there, and almost hit that as well. So that is another bad part, because if you accidentally pass a building, you have to go ahead and do that very wide turn to go ahead and turn around. Also, it has no brakes, meaning that we can't pull a lever and then it will completely stop. So if you're looting a building and it's on a hill, then if you hop off, the ATV will actually roll away, and you just have to hope that hits like a cactus or something, or else it's just gonna go ahead and keep rolling off forever. With the van over here, if you go ahead and hop in, as you can see, it has this brake right here, so whenever you stop at a building, we can go ahead and flip this brake right here, and then it will go ahead and completely stop, and then it won't roll away from us. But it doesn't have that for the ATV, so the ATV will just roll away. So that makes the ATV the worst vehicle in the game overall. It's even worse than this. Even this car is better than the ATV. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the second worst vehicle. The second worst vehicle, I would probably say, is the flame truck. It's kind of close between these two. I haven't seen too many downsides with this one. This one is just kind of like plain, but there are ups and downs to the flame truck right here. The main downside to the flame truck is the view. Like, let's go ahead and sit in the van real quick. So if you go ahead and hop in the van, and if we sit down, as you can see, we can see everything. But if we go ahead and sit in the flame truck, as you can see, we can't see anything. So like the road in front of us, we like can't even see it. Like, I'm looking completely straight right now, and we can only see like half of our screen, not even half of it. So the view is terrible. It does make it a little bit worse that we have these giant wheels on, but even if we had the normal small wheels on it, it would still be terrible. But there is an upside to it. Like, let's go ahead and start it. So the engine to this truck is actually special though, because it allows you to go twice as fast. So if you go ahead and start driving, we should go twice as fast. And I just realized we do have the lever on. There we go. So let's go and turn the brakes off. So if you go ahead and start driving, we will go twice as fast as a regular engine, and I'm not going to go full speed because I don't want to go too far away from spawn. But yeah, you do go twice as fast, so that is an upside to this. Also, is the engine that's twice as fast. So what you could do is you could easily just take the engine out and then put it in a different vehicle. So if you really want to, you can go ahead and grab the engine right here, and you can toss it in a different vehicle, and then that vehicle will go twice as fast. So that is an upside to the flame truck. But other than that, if you're trying to use the actual truck itself, I probably wouldn't recommend it because the view is terrible. But if you're trying to get it just for this engine right here, then it is alright, but that would be like 800 Robux, I think, just for this one engine, so I wouldn't say that's worth it. The next worst car in the game, I would probably say, is this one right here, the brand new Exotica, because there's nothing too special about it really. It does use special wheels. So these wheels right here, similar to the SUV, which we haven't taken a look at yet, it uses special wheels. So if you get caught in a tornado or something, and it like flings one of your wheels off the map, and you're no longer able to get it, then you can't find a replacement for that wheel. You are able to use regular wheels, such as we can take this off and we can just use a regular wheel, but it doesn't really fit correctly. You are able to use it, but it kind of looks wonky, and I don't think it's as good as using one of these wheels right here. but it did make it like 150,000 meters with this car right here without losing a single one of these wheels. So it's not too hard to like not lose them. Let's also go ahead and drive this. I also heard that this vehicle right here does use a lot of gas though. So let's go and check the gas. So we currently have 6.8 liters. So let's go and drive around and see how much we have. Also, by the way, this car is massive. Like this car should not be this big. I think they scale it up too much because this is like way too big right now. Anyway, let's go ahead and sit inside and let's go ahead and flip the brake right there. And now let's go ahead and start driving. So it does sound pretty cool. Y'all can't really hear it, but it does sound cooler than the other cars, I guess. But anyway, let's go ahead and start driving. So I think this engine is also faster. It didn't say that it's twice as fast, but I think it is twice as fast because we are definitely going faster than if we were to have a regular engine. So if you do want an engine that is twice as fast, then you could just go ahead and get this car right here instead of the flame truck because it does have a much better view. The view is still pretty bad, but it is much better than the flame truck because you are actually able to see stuff, such as we can easily see the road in front of us. So that's pretty nice. So I would probably buy this one over the flame truck, but this one is limited stock and it is actually twice as much. So never mind. If you do want an engine that's twice as fast and that's all you want, then I would probably recommend the flame truck just because this one is like twice the price. If you do have the spare Robux, then you are able to get it. It is limited to 10,000 stock, so only 10,000 people can get this. So you can go ahead and decide if you want it. So we drove around a little bit, maybe like 400 meters total. Let's go and check it. And alright, it didn't use too much. It used like 0.2 liters gas. So yeah, that's not too much. You could probably make it to 1,000 meters and it will only use a liter of gas. So the gas consumption is pretty much the same as all the other cars. Yeah, this car, it's actually not as bad and it does look pretty cool. I'll probably go ahead and test it out a little bit more because overall it doesn't really seem that bad. But finally, I would say the best Roblox vehicle is actually the SUV. Yeah, this SUV is pretty much the exact same as the van. The van is free to play once again, but it does look a lot cooler. And also I think it is bigger. Yeah, looking at it now, it is a little bit bigger than the van, but it also looks a lot cooler. Like here's the van right here, it's kind of plain, and here's this car. So it does look a lot cooler. And also replacing the engine is a lot easier because inside the van, the engine is actually right here. So replacing the engine is quite annoying, and also refilling it is quite annoying as well. But for the SUV, we can just go ahead and open this up, and then here is the engine and radiator right here. Also, by the way, whenever I go ahead and drive these vehicles, I usually don't have the hood on. I usually have the hood off like this, but just for this video, I did go ahead and include it on, and it looks like I can't put it on for some reason. But anyway, let's go and start driving. So the view is pretty good as well. It's not as good as the van, I would say, but it's not that much worse. But one of the downsides is that sometimes it does randomly get stuck. So if you start driving it and it's going slow, just kind of like push it a little bit, just like that, and now it should be good because sometimes it just randomly starts going slow at the beginning, but then after you do that, it does start going fast again. It's not as fast as some of the other ones. I think the engine is just a regular engine because it doesn't go super fast like the Exotica or the flame truck, so I think it is just regular. Also, one of the other downsides that I saw is if you are trying to empty out the gas, it is a little bit different. So let's go ahead and stop it. Let's go ahead and turn it off. So if you're trying to empty out the gas tank over here, and if you're trying to like replace it with diesel, you can't just remove this wheel currently, because if you go ahead and try it, it just like gets stuck like that. Even if you go ahead and push it, you still like can't get it out. So if you want to go ahead and empty out the gas, what you have to do is you have to go ahead and open it, and then you remove this wheel over here, and then it will go ahead and start emptying. So yeah, you gotta go ahead and do that instead of removing this wheel. It will probably be fixed later on, but for now you gotta go ahead and do that. Also, by the way, I forgot to mention, for some of these vehicles you can't push them. Like this one right here, if you go ahead and go to the back and if you click F, we can actually push the vehicle. So that means if it flips over, we can easily go ahead and push it over, but it's not like that for some of the other ones, such as the ATV. So the ATV, we actually can't push it. So if it goes to the back and if we click F, we actually can't push it at all, and we just like randomly grab something right there. Yeah, we can go ahead and touch this because this is just the radio, but we actually can't push it at all. But the ATV actually can't flip over, because if you flip over in the ATV, it automatically like fixes itself, so that doesn't really matter. But what I realized with the Exotica over here, you actually can't push it. So I'm clicking F on the back right now, and we actually can't push it. So if you flip this over, I'm not really sure how you're getting back up. It might automatically correct itself, but I actually haven't flipped over in this just yet, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, you can't push it, so that does make it pretty difficult sometimes, especially if you get something stuck underneath the car and you like try to push the car to get unstuck. You can't do that with this car. So that is also one of the main downsides, because that would actually really stink if you flip over and you can't flip it back over because you can't push it with your hands. With all the other ones you can though, such as this flame truck, we were able to push it if we want to, and same with those three cars over there, we can all push push them, but we just can't with the Exotica and the ATV right here. But anyway, those are the best and worst vehicles. Once again, the worst vehicle is the ATV, absolutely the worst. And then the second worst, I would probably say, is the flame truck, and then the Exotica, and then the SUV, and then these two, they're not really ranked because they are free to play. But out of these two, I would probably use the van. I would probably never use this one. But if you own all of these, then I would probably recommend using the SUV. If I own any of these ones over here, I probably wouldn't use them. I would probably still rather use the van than any of these. I still gotta go ahead and test out the Exotica a little bit more. So, yeah, so these three, I would probably rather use the van rather than those three. But I would probably rather use this one right here over the van, just because it's pretty much the exact same as the van, just looks cooler and it is something new to go ahead and use. And then this one, I would just never use this, because even as free to play, you still have the van right here. But anyway, those are the best and worst cars on a dusty trip though. So that is gonna be all for this video. So make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and I'll see you all in the next video.